Hey everyone, Mike here today with some thoughts here on Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars. Now I'm not going to talk about Kane's Wrath necessarily because unlike the previous Command & Conquer videos I've been doing, this one here is basically me giving up after playing about, I don't know, a third of the GDI campaign. And then there's also the Nod campaign, which I haven't touched yet, but yeah, we'll go ahead and continue. I'll replay a mission there I did real quick to test the recording.
We now have evidence that Nod is weaponized.
We have a nice briefing, we can skip that, and let's get right into it. So, I don't have particularly good fond memories of this game. You know, if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I've played all the Command & Conquer games as they've come out over time. I've enjoyed playing through them recently after playing through the remaster and whatnot. And I figured, well, after playing the remaster, why not go through and play through some of these older games as well? Since a lot of the older games I've not played in a very long time. So far, Command & Conquer franchise, I've had fun playing all of the games up to Red Alert 2. I did attempt to play a little bit of Command & Conquer Generals, but I really didn't like Generals back in the day, and I still don't really like it today. So, you know, it is what it is. The problems I have with Generals are kind of the same problems I have with this game, which we'll kind of get into in just a bit. But yeah, overall, it just feels different, weird and different. So the problem that this game and Generals both have is that they're kind of early 3D attempts from Westwood, trying to take a traditionally 2D game and turning it 3D has often been a bit of a problem. You know, it's been a problem for a lot of different franchises over the years. And I feel like with Command & Conquer, not only were they going 3D, but they felt the need to try and reinvent themselves somehow and make these games very different. So, I don't know. I've found that to be a little bit strange. So, some of the changes is they kind of streamline how Tiberium works, right? Tiberium is kind of and Generals is a bit like that too. They've kind of de-emphasized the concept of doing a lot of harvesting, especially like longer distance and worrying about it. Like there's always going to be Tiberium right beside your base when you first start. Like you don't really have to think about it too much. Things like base building are kind of de-emphasized in this game as well. A lot of the static defenses, especially, which are building up right now, are actually not that powerful at all, which leads them to be pretty useless, pretty fragile, and pretty frustrating to use because of that. Because you kind of do need them to be kicking around if you can, but again, they've kind of de-emphasized a lot of that stuff in this game. And so you wind up having this kind of quasi-streamlined experience where they're trying to build something that's a little bit more like a Relic kind of RTS. And nothing wrong with that. Relic make really good RTSs. It's just the problem is that this is Command & Conquer. If I wanted a Relic style RTS, I'd play a Relic style RTS. And so kind of this change in direction and change in genre was it's kind of rough getting into this. It was not, I don't know. I was not particularly happy about these changes. And I think aesthetically as well, you know, you've got Tiberium Sun, which I thought was an absolutely phenomenal looking game. Very atmospheric, very nice, cool looking. And then you have this game, which not terrible, but you know, it's definitely not a looker either compared to some of those other more classic RTSs. And then after that you have Generals. Generals being the first 3D, everything didn't look great, didn't age well. All the animations and stuff just always felt kind of floaty and yeah, not a super pleasant game to play and look at, really, is what I'm getting at. So then you have this. Well, it's a bit better. Oh, come on, AI. Yeah. You can see some of the problems I have, though. Like, some of the AI is just dumb as rocks in here. It's not uncommon to see your dudes get stuck on stuff, or you order them to do something, so they come to grinding halt, and then they do whatever, and then they got moving again. Like, a lot of things like that, just frustrating at best. Absolutely baffling at worst. And a lot of cases, it will cost you units, where just you're trying to micromanage stuff, and it just sucks. You know, I haven't had to micromanage units like that since StarCraft, and that's been a long time. And except in this game, you have to micromanage them again. So, you know, a lot of things like that was just like, what are you doing? Why is this such a step backwards compared to what they've previously done? So, yeah, that was definitely a big annoyance that I had on this. It's like, hey, gotta send these guys back so they don't fight away from the tower. Because yeah, while static defenses kind of suck, they still do a decent amount of damage, and it's easier to repair a tower than it is. Like, come on, it's easier to repair a tower than it is to try to repair someone. Where are you going? Yeah, you can see some of the AI jank, if that's the word to describe it. I don't know, it's not great. Cool, we got the upgrade. But yeah, things like having the objectives clearly labeled, it makes for, again, a different experience. You're not really dependent on trying to figure out, you know, how's the best way to get to X, or, you know, you're supposed to find a certain person, destroy a certain thing. Like, you used to have to kind of go around and find that. Whereas with the changes in this game, there's none of that anymore. You just kind of go in there and do your thing, right? You know exactly where you have to go, what you have to destroy, what you have to do. You just go straight to that point. Yeah, there's kind of fog of war, but not really, because of that, which, for better or for worse, really. Yeah. Again, you can see these tanks just kind of stop when I send them a command. It just looks awful. Alright, just do the objective. And then do this one. Because I think... Oh, there you go. Yeah, reinforcements, excellent. That's what we needed. Unfortunately, I'm probably gonna lose him. Yep. But we'll be okay. I don't have to worry too much about these guys.
Mammoth tank. Yes, sir. Ready here. Armor superior. Yes, sir.
Quality. Yeah, I think to wrap it up, the other problem I have with this game is just the overall style, graphics, look, and feel. This is a game like Generals that, to me, just doesn't age well. You know, this 3D style. Actually, Generals aged a lot better than this, to be fair. Other than the animations looking kind of rough. But yeah, this is a bad game in terms of just look. You know, this is an era where games had to be brown or gray. Adding color was illegal or something. I don't know. I don't know why everybody had to do this kind of look and feel, but there are definitely a couple years, kind of in the mid-2000s, where every game was like this. You know? We had this ridiculous oversaturated bloom because we just discovered how to do bloom and kind of discovered how to do HDR pipelines in games, and so you had a lot of that going on, and everything had to be rugged and realistic, so the best way they could do that back then was to just make everything look brown. So that's also a style that very obviously dates this game, and yeah, it makes it look, funny enough, go back and look at Tiberium Sun, that game arguably looks way more realistic. It's very beautiful, it's got bright colors in some places, it's got so much atmosphere, whereas this game just feels bleh. So anyways, I think that's it. I don't really have anything positive to say about it. It's Command & Conquer 3, so of course I'm not going to have anything positive to say about it. It's sad. It's really disappointing, unfortunately. And so we'll see. I do have slightly better memories of Red Alert 3. I've not played that game again since it launched, so we'll find out next week, I suppose. I should have plenty of time to potentially play through that game and upload a video following this one. So we'll see you guys then.